to work now. Oh!
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of TEW 2016 Billy Corgan's NWA. If you joined us for the last Corn stream, you know we did some, let's say, surgical removal of some of our problems. So our roster was way too big. It was at 40 people. Our at minimum number is 20, so we were double the minimum number. We were hemorrhaging money, and while we're not financially in a bad situation now, we are losing quite a bit a month. So we cut down, I think we were at like 47,000 a month just in wrestler expenditures. And I realized there was a lot of people on this roster that I didn't need. There are some people I probably don't need, but they are what I would consider cornerstones of the company. So to me, it's Tim Storm, it's Aldis, and it's Josephus. Will pretty much never leave as long as I'm around, just because they're the heart and soul of NWA in a weird way. Everybody else can kind of come and go, and then Pillman is sort of our up-and-comer. Though I would not be shocked if he's surprised that he's actually not main eventer yet. It'll be soon. His popularity's skyrocketing here, probably more than some of our actual main eventers. Nick Aldis is 45. Pillman is 39. Not far off, to be honest, in terms of popularity. Not too far at all. What was PCO at? 42. So, you know, we're getting close to being able to pull the trigger on him. So we grew him down by quite a bit. We do have some people we're picking up the fill-ins. Yeah, you read that right. That does say New Jack. Listen. I was drinking. Okay. We have stuff we can do with them. We're grabbing Jimmy Yuda, or was it Wheeler? Allison Danger for to be a better road agent for us. And so for the most part, we're not picking up too many. I'm willing to pick up a few people, but we're trying to keep the roster's price to a minimal. So basically, we're trying to keep this 1,000 up to be really limited. We are going to actually get rid of Sasha. It's a tough one, but I think Steiner is only here temporarily. Jericho is just on loan, so his price doesn't really matter. But we're going to get rid of Sasha. I don't think she's worth keeping. Most of it has to do with the general talent level of the other female wrestlers. There'll be a time where we could pick her back up again, but in a lot of ways, I think Tessa's going to be our new Sasha in terms of being top dog there. And then we're going to start to develop some other female wrestlers. We have a heel problem here too, which is most of our wrestlers are heel. We need some more faces in different areas. So all of our top main eventers are heel, which is a problem. Brodie closest to a tweener. Pillman, I'd like to move up to main event, and that would be our face, but I think we need somebody else. Obviously, we turn Aldis heel, but I think he works better as a heel anyways. Eli Drake is a better heel, but I could see playing a face when needed. It's tough. It's a tough problem because and all our mid card are pretty much heel. But I think it's important when we're looking at a booking perspective. I think it's more important to actually have heels over faces, because if you think about it, a wrestling show is probably written around 3 or 4 main characters. Those main characters are the people that you follow, that you care about. So they're faces. Usually there's going to be one in every, I guess, division, every push. So there'll probably be one main eventer that's a face, maybe 2, usually 1. And everybody else is in opposition of him. So by default, they're in an antagonistic role against him. Now, they might not be heels, but they're going to be in direct opposition. So the idea of needing like a bunch of faces or equal distribution, I don't think is the case. We need at least one face in each division, and we're not quite there, is kind of the problem here. Some of that can be rectified with some of the new hires, but it definitely is an issue. Like, a lot of our faces are lower on the card. So some of our kind of backstage things is, some of my goals here is we're going to be pushing Ricky Starks, and we're going to be trying to move him up to mid-carder, and I want him to be kind of a strong mid-card face. The Von Erichs obviously are the faces of our tag division. Flip will be a perfect lower mid-carder face to kind of go in opposition of Brodie, stuff like that. And, Tim Storm's just kind of hanging down there right now. We moved Tim Storm into more of a managerial capacity. I still don't think he should be an opener. I think we're going to move him up to lower mid-card. His popularity is the issue, but that can move up because his stats aren't horrendous. He's a decent brawler. He's pretty good on a microphone, actually, and his star quality is okay. So we've moved him to be managing. Also, he has a legend gimmick. The substitute teacher, legendary. But we're gonna put him as a nope, that's not right. We're gonna put Tim Storm as Ricky Stark's manager. We're gonna have kind of a bond and a partnership, and I think that's gonna work for Ricky. He's a young lion, so he's got a couple years of development for us, but I think we can move him up. He's already getting pretty popular in our area. Strong entertainment, so the two of them will be able to bounce back and forth in a pretty nice way. We might even make them a tag team. Let's do that now, because one of the other issues is that we got rid of Homicide, so we don't really have a Storm and Starks. Okay. That works for now. If you guys got a good tag team name for them, let me know. But for now, we can just name them as that. So we got rid of Homicide. We're going to let Eddie Kingston kind of be a solo act for now, and kind of be the bully of the upper mid card. We got rid of a lot of people. Like I said, we are picking up a few others. But the most important thing is that our estimated cost went from like 46 to like 24. And remember, part of that 24 is actually the $5,000 a show, or at least $5,000 a month for Chris Jericho. So we're actually closer to like 18, which is not bad. And I think that will really help our cash flow issues, especially as we develop on here. So that should be pretty good for us, at least hopefully. Now, in terms of the show, we have Mid-Atlantic Mayhem coming up. Before that, we have Wrestle War. That's right. Wrestle War will be coming up on February, and then we have Mid-Atlantic Mayhem. So we do, because of our schedule, have to run a pay-per-view every month. Not the end of the world, but something we have to think about financially. So we are going to start building up towards the next pay-per-view, which will be a while, about, like 4 weeks away. So we have a lot of time, but this is kind of where our build will be. We also have, I don't think it's going to show, but I think we have four more loan opportunities. Let's see. We have 5 months amount of appearances. It doesn't say. 3 appearances. 3 more appearances left. So we got to make sure one of them. I don't think we're going to put Chris Jericho on the show again for a bit. I think that the main plan right now is probably have him. He obviously, Nick Aldis gets a rematch, and we're gonna have them fight at Wrestle War, and then we have to decide if he retains or not, or if Brody Lee cashes in and takes the belt from Jericho. Or we do the belt getting taken at Mayhem. Could also be pretty fun. And in the meantime, obviously, we're going to try to build Pillman, and we're going to try to build Starks as projects to try to build them up the roster. We also, like I said, we're going to be getting rid of Sasha. So Sasha, we got to get the belt off of her, probably drop it to Tessa, and then we want Sasha to push one of the other girls up high. Right now, we only have one female wrestler that is a face besides Skylar, and that's Kimberly. So we can push her to probably get a lot of momentum from Sasha, and then make her a competitor against Tessa. She's not doing well right now, but that's honestly not her skill problem. It's her popularity, because she's just not very popular in the area. She should have a higher popularity in Tri-State with all the years that she's been in Chikara, which seems odd. But she also has a young lion. She's like her last year of young lionism. So there's an opportunity for her to develop and grow. Sasha is done outside of that period. Popular, but also not necessarily just too expensive for what we're using her for. So we'll have her drop the title, and then we'll have her we'll job her out to Kimberly and really give Kimberly a push. All right, let's go ahead and let's try to get these other wrestlers onto the card, and let's move on to the next episode of Power. And we do have some negotiations, which is a loan from Tessa. That's fine. All right, there we go. So we got them coming in. We want our road agent in. Perfect. We're waiting on New Jack. Let's grab Yuda. Shouldn't he be? Is he Wheeler, right? They don't have his alias. Let's go ahead and Wheeler. We'll throw that on there. It's a better name than Jimmy anyways. He's a strong babyface, so we'll keep him there. Blue Chipper's not yet rated. It's probably going to be lower. Opener. That's fine. We'll move him up. Perfect. And he also has a tag team with Cade, so that's something we could also look at. Let's look at Cade real quick. If it's someone we might want to pull in. 260 a show is not horrendous. Shortlist him for now. So popular. Popular is actually not bad for Southeast though. Let's throw him in here. See if we can get him really cheap. All events I show not covered. Let's see, lowest is 200. What are you gonna do? 240. What if I said you were gonna be a blue chip prospect? 230. I'm almost fine with the 260. Only 200 a month. Not horrendous. We'll pull him in because we do have the Crockett Cup coming up in April. So building up a tag team might not be bad. Like I said, we could have more tag teams. We're probably not going to have Colt and Flip forever. I'm not really liking... they have great chemistry, but I'm not really liking what I'm seeing. And obviously we have to turn Colt Cabana into Colt Cabana, so that's going to have to happen eventually. So having another tag team in the mix will be helpful. All right, let's go ahead and keep moving. All right, pulling another one. Probably New Jack. Perfect. How much is a medical exam for him? 3,000. That's fine. What's the worst that could happen? I say that dangerously. Where's New Jack on this roster? Mid card? Yeah. That's fine. He'll be a good mid card heel. Be able to do some stuff with him. And price is right, so not too bad. And we'll pull in him and put him on a roster. Probably also an opener, I'm assuming. Enhancement. Ouch. Well, guess who we know who we're feeding to the Ascension. All right, let's go ahead, get to Power. We got some booking to do. See what we're gonna do. Backstage rating's not horrendous. Let's see if we can get some synergy on this managership and get Ricky Starks and Tim Storm a friendship. Did not work. That's fine. Going to once again be in the Power studio, which will work out fine for us. We're expecting 1,700. It's a little bit less than what we got last week, which is unfortunate, but fits within our capacity, which is what matters. All right, we got a show to book. Like I said, I'm probably not going to put Jericho on this, but we got to start building up towards pay-per-view. So we have a lot of time, though. So it might be some time to give some of our younger wrestlers a time to shine and try to give them some momentum so that when Jericho's gone, we have some other people to really utilize. All right, let's go ahead and let's do it. All right, we got a show. It's a tight one. We're at exactly 65 minutes. It's hard to book these stories, but at least we got 4 weeks to go. So we start off with a pretty decent women's division match. Kimberly defeats all three of these competitors in a 4-way. It's not too bad. Madison Eagle is carrying in terms of performance, but we actually protect her a little bit, keep her strong. And we have Kimberly actually defeat Thunder Rosa. Nicole Matthews and Madison Eagles have some good momentum behind them, and we want to make sure that we maintain that. But we also want to give that push for Kimberly as our top babyface to start to become a legitimate competitor. So I think this does okay. It is a poor match. Gets the match off to, or it gets the show off to a strong start. So that's the goal. It was a work the crowd match, so I think we succeeded in that at least. And then for the rating, honestly, it's not horrendous. Oh, better. Scott Steiner, shockingly, can improv, apparently. But he does a promo, and he calls out Pillman Jr. in his North American title, thinks that he's a pipsqueak, can't handle it, and that he wants to take the belt off of him tonight. This is okay. Scott Steiner enjoyed his freedom. Did a pretty good job, actually. This is better than what I would expect from him. So pretty good for the beginning promo of the show. Ugh. I actually thought this would be a little bit better, but we have Backstage Shots. Storm's seen talking to Ricky Starks backstage and sharing ideas with them. We know that they might be teaming up as a tag team now that Tim Storm's a good guy and down on a card. And it seems like the two really have bonded together and started to share tactics. We see a little bit of this here. It does not do well, though, so we might have to maybe change our thought on that. But the match isn't bad, though. We have Storm and Starks versus the debuting Cade and Wheeler Yuta. It's subpar wrestling, but little heat. But honestly, it's not horrendous for where we are on the card. Storm and Starks defeat Cade and Yuta in 5 minutes. Ricky Starks defeats Jason Cade. We have both teams set as individuals, so Starks will get momentum for defeating Cade, but it won't hurt Wheeler, which was our goal. Wheeler got a very good blue chipper, and Cade got an above average for his as well. not bad. I mean, they're all about the same. Wheeler's a little bit better than Cade, and Storm and Ricky are about even. It's fine. This is not a bad match for the lower card. I think this works okay. It gives them something to do as well, and we get to see kind of where the pairings off are. I'm pretty satisfied with this. Afterwards, we have another backstage camera segment. We see that the cameras get a glimpse of Paul Pinky George back in the office, and he's talking to Eli Drake. The microphones aren't picking it up, though, because it's through the window of the door, so we don't know what's going on. But we do know that Pinky George is working with the board of directors of the Alliance, and they seem pretty displeased with Billy Corgan, and they want a more marketable, merchandisable company. And Pinky, obviously, is probably scouting talent to try to make that happen and try to kind of control what's going on. And it seems like he's back to his strategy here. We know last time he had complete control, he sold off the rights to the North American title to Carl's Jr., and surely he's going to be looking at doing more more elements of merchandising and marketability as he tries to strip the soul out of the NWA for money. We have our match with Pillman and Steiner. It's not bad. We had to do a lot to actually get this to work, which was unfortunate. Steiner has creative control because we gave that to him because we're stupid, and did not like the idea of Pillman going over. So we had to make the match where Steiner kind of dominated most of the match, and Pillman got a win. It had good heat, though, decent wrestling. Pillman does defeat Steiner, makes defense number 1 in the North American title. Ooh, okay, so Pillman and Marty Bell are not good together, so we got to think of something else to do with Marty Bell. Did not do a good job valeting for him. Pillman had a 49, Scott Steiner had a 39. The rating overall was a 44. It's not horrendous. Hopefully our main event's a little bit better. I'm kind of looking for a C- here. Afterwards, we see Marty Scurll, who's sitting in the audience, and he's watching Pillman closely, scouting him. The two have some tension building up. And he mockingly applauds him from ringside. Yeah, we gotta break up Marty Bell and Pillman. Doesn't really work here. This is okay. Yeah, I think you're right, Pillman. Our main event is Brody Lee versus Eddie Kingston for the Founders Championship, because now that it is built together, he does have to defend it until he cashes it in. Anyone that fights him could steal the Founders Championship from him, and Eddie Kingston wants to take that opportunity, but cannot. Brody Lee easily defeats Eddie Kingston in 12 minutes. Got the crowd buzzing. There's still hints of a face turn for Brody Lee. It's not working. Brody Lee had a 63, Kingston had a 52, and we are left with a C, a solid C, not even C- for the final rating of the match of the night. I don't think this next promo sequence is going to do very well, though, based on what I'm looking at. It's actually not too bad. Brody Lee starts to cut a promo to end the night, probably still calling out everybody, and holding the Founders Championship. But before he really gets the chance to talk, Paul Pinky George finally comes out, and he's got Nick Aldis and War Machine with him for some reason. He says, "The belt doesn't belong to you, Mr. Lee. It was supposed to be for the right people, for those that the board deemed true successors to this company, people that the founders would respect. I offered you a chance before. I told you we were trying to restore order, put this ragtag group of misfits and losers in their place. We need to make this company profitable and marketable. The board of directors have already elected its champion. But there's room for one more. You need..." The board of directors have already elected its champions, as he motions to the group. But there's still room for one more. You need to trim up a bit. Maybe you're looking a little too new school for the board, but I'm sure we can work with it. Maybe shave a little bit. What do you say? Pinky offers his hand out as a handshake, trying to bring the Founders Champion in to the fold of what's now being called the Board. But Brodie attacks Pinky instead. And before he can successfully stomp a mud hole in him, the Board's enforcers surround him and attack. Nick Aldis and War Machine have aligned with Pinky and the corporate board of directors and make their strength known and beat Brodie to the ground. Pinky's underwhelming. We advance the storyline of Brodie Unhinged. We definitely set him into a collision course with the kind of heel authority figures, now being called the board of directors. Probably what Pinky was looking for is a fourth member, probably trying to bring the Alliance champion in line. We will have to see how that plays out and if Eli Drake actually accepts, but we now know that Nick Aldis and War Machine are with them. Basically, the idea here is that the Alliance is looking for old school style wrestlers, or they're looking for people that they think are marketable and palatable. They probably see these guys as a sort of like a Road Warriors 2.0 or something like that. Oh, here's these old school guys, and we got Nick Aldis, he's all clean shaven. And Paul Pinky George is just looking to try to wrest control of the company. This is great. C-, pretty good, all things considered. It's not too bad at all. We increased our popularity in 18 regions. Can't ask for much better. All right, what do we have here? Kimberly's made an extension offer. Okay, nothing important. Butch Miller died. Power said fans was excellent. Went really well. Nothing else really going on here. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good show. Check what our financials are here. How much it really cost us. Not much. I think we were at like 80 something. So we only lost a little bit, a couple thousand. Like, honestly, I don't mind losing money, but I would like to kind of keep it flat. Like, we do need to make money, but if we're trading it off for momentum, it's not the end of the world. Probably too soon to see any change, but we are at a solid D- right now. So overall, not too bad. Well, that was it for me today, guys. I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you for another episode of Power.